Welcome back, everyone. So a little recap from last week. We spent time figuring out what was the rest at the dig site, and we found that there were multiple bodies. It wasn't necessarily that of Henry Rhodes because there were multiple deformed bodies in the grave. You then took it upon yourselves to explore and find a campsite where we believe they may have last stayed, and in that we found out burnt trucks, and there was a scene of blood within one of the tents, which was quite concerning, and Charles managed to pick up 2 books on the history of Blackwater in the Skikaro. And then following that, you made your way towards the dam and decided, after finding some trails of blood and other nastiness, that you'd have a little wander into the woods where the trees themselves appeared to attack you, where Obadiah nearly got caught and taken up into the tree line. And that's where we start. We were lucky enough to level up last week, so maybe people might be a little bit better at certain things. And yeah, so as far as I remember where we left it last week, you are all around the edge of the dam, I believe. Am I right in thinking that? Or did you get all the way back to
the farm,
the Charlie farm?
making your way back to the farm? Okay. So yeah, so you made it back to the farm where it looks like old Pete's body had been taken away. You managed to sleep, and I think, Charles, you read some of the books that you found. So I take it everyone had a full night's sleep, and you awake to sort of the sound of kind of the cockerels crowing in the morning as sort of sun just begins to break over the horizon.
Okay, well, I suppose I get up, I look over to Obadiah and say, "Well, are we ready for today?" I'm guessing we've exhausted all of the options. Unless you want to go into town and speak to people there, we need to go to the cave. I think that's the only place we haven't looked for Henry.
I mean, I won't lie. I don't want to go back and see those people again. They seem to be the least hospitable people in the world.
They certainly weren't friendly. I think we better bring some bottled water with us as well, or boiled water.
Yeah, we could possibly see if we can boil some water in that kettle downstairs.
Hmm.
They may even furnish us with some breakfast today if we ask nicely.
I think so. Shall we get our gear ready and then go find Evelyn and get breakfast and get ready to go?
I mean, is she not just sleeping down there on the floor right next to us?
I thought she was sleeping.
I think she was. I think last night she decided to sleep on the floor between us because we were all pretty spooked.
That's
I literally kicked the bed next to me to wake her up.
Okay, I'll turn over, magically appearing in front of you.
So I think I'm right, because I think you said you came in and I was really tempted to bar the door.
I'm not sure we actually went to sleep last time, but we've gone to sleep, and I'll go to sleep. It makes more sense that I would have gone to sleep in the same room as you guys, because I was still spooked from last night. It's not like having been attacked by some trees, I'm then going to go, meh, it'll be fine.
You mean you don't want to go sleep in Pete's shack? It's full of like mangy dogs, and
I was more thinking about the pig lodge or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, just go hang out with the pigs. Cool.
Okay. So yeah, I think we should get our gear together, go down and see the Garveys, and make our way to the cave.
Yeah, I think we should definitely ask the Jarvies some questions. Maybe ask if they've got a torch or some equivalent.
That's a good idea.
Because
that sounds good.
I'm not sure about you guys, but I didn't bring anything to light the way in a cave.
Oh.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't bring anything either. I have my car. We could possibly drive that there if we were real careful.
Judging by the map, we may have to go through the farm if we do that. The other farm.
I sure hope not. They apparently weren't very nice people.
Why?
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna grab my clothes and then head downstairs.
yeah.
Or the dining room.
If I haven't already, I kind of inform you of the books and the passages we're going through last week, just so you guys are aware of it. And then, yeah, I'll just make sure my gear's as ready as what it can be. I haven't got much, so it doesn't take me very long. And I head down for breakfast and to sort out what we're doing in the day.
What's the weather like outside this day?
It's very humid. It's quite muggy. But it's still reasonably early in the morning. You kind of anticipate that as time goes on, it'll almost kind of, if you imagine kind of rainforest but no rainforest, so it's quite kind of just humid and sweaty and just arid, really.
Absolutely horrible to be outside in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I put on my duster.
Okay.
Regardless, because it's what he does. And then I come downstairs.
Okay. So as you kind of go down the stairs, they creak, and almost momentarily as you open the bedroom door, you can get a whiff of like a really strong smell of bacon. And immediately as it hits your nostrils, sort of you realise how little you've eaten over the last few days, and sort of your mouth fills with saliva. And you can hear sort of the pottering about downstairs. As you kind of go round, you can see that Miss Jarvie is set up the table, and she's very courteous, and she's kind of really expecting to look after you guys well. And you can see her sort of pottering about in the kitchen.
I love this woman, mainly because she makes two of the best things in the world: apple pie and bacon. I'm just gonna go into the room, sit down. Actually, maybe not sit down. I'll offer to help and make small chat.
Okay. And then sort of as you approach, you say, "No, dear. You take your time. Sit down. Wake up." And she sort of, with the spatula, sort of points over to freshly brewed coffee and tea pots that are on the table.
I'll definitely help myself to some of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing, really. We go down and I make a polite hello to Mrs. Garvey. Is Mr. Garvey there as well?
Not at the moment, it doesn't seem.
Yeah. So yeah, I inquire about his whereabouts, and
Yeah.
Mrs. Garvey, where's your husband? I've not seen him this morning.
And she almost lets like a small sort of cheerful laugh, and she's kind of like, "Well, it's past 6 a.m. Farmhands need to be working." And you sort of take off that these are really sort of hard working sort of people, as you know, it's barely broken dawn, and he's already out sort of tending to the animals.
Sweet.
I'll come in, having taken a few moments to look out the window upstairs, and then come in now.
Okay.
Just kind of morning.
And it takes a few minutes, and sort of then she brings out and sort of beckons you over to the table, and she lays down. Each plate has got like a really thick cut sliced wholemeal bread on it that appears to be homemade, and in the middle she lays down kind of a plate stacked full of really thick cut fatty bacon.
No, but yeah. I'll presume in this game I don't mind fatty bacon.
Is this the role play?
No, I can't do it. This is the most role play I've ever done. I eat the fatty bacon.
I also sit down and eat after pouring myself a cup of coffee.
Okay. And I suppose there's something really nice about and homely about it, sort of the saltiness, the sort of the reassurance that actually kind of this is quite normal, this is quite nice after the events of yesterday. And you sort of enjoy like the nice breakfast as the sounds of the animals roam about in the back of in the yard, and sort of just enjoy your morning breakfast, and it really, really satisfies that need.
I'm gonna. Where is Mrs. Jarvie? Is she eating with us, or she's still?
She's just like cleaning and pottering, and
She's nearby, right?
Yeah,
So
you can see her from the kitchen. Yeah.
I will strike up a conversation and then ask, Miss Jarvie, we're planning on going to the nearby cave today. Do you happen to know anything about it, or?
And she kind of cocks a bit of an eye and she sort of says, well, your friends there, they were interested in that cave too. Lots of local legends surrounding that. And in and out of the conversation, she talks about sort of things that you've heard before, the legend of the gourd boy being taken into there, and sort of talking about how the settlers then sort of constituted what is now known as Blackwater Creek. Yeah.
And then we're gonna ask also, do you happen to know anything about the dam itself? Like, do you know why it was built, or why it like where it's siphoning water off to? When was it built?
And kind of from the moment you kind of mention sort of the dam, you can see like a bit of a scowl go across her face, and she's like, "Oh, those Carmodis, they decided to make some irrigation back to their farm, and as a result, they've ruined that there river that went through. It's damn selfish of them, if you ask me."
The rest of the village don't mind that.
Well, it seems as though Sheriff, where has he gone?
Is that a Dutch name?
Sheriff Spelston, he supports that. It doesn't seem to give no damn, and well, him being the preacher and the sheriff around here, if that's what you can call it, they just go along with what he says.
All right. I mean, it explains a few things. When did they build it? Was it fairly recently, or?
Maybe talking about 8 months ago or so.
8 months. All right, so maybe a few months before our friends turned up then.
Have the behaviours of the people in that farm changed at all lately? I mean, were they ever friendly, or have they always been as ornery as what they seem to be at the moment, from what we've heard?
And considering Edith is quite a polite and nice sort of old lady, you sort of see they there give them rednecks bad names. They're assholes, if you ask me. Always been assholes. And at the point you sort of realise that this is strong swearing for this lady, no better than they ever been.
My dear Mrs. Jarvie, they have pushed you that far to say such terrible things about them?
And she flushes a bit. My apologies.
No. It's them who should be apologizing for whatever they have done.
And you see her kind of look over to a cross on the mantelpiece, and she's like,
All right, Miss Jarvie, whilst do you use much water, like non-boiled water, on the farm? I presume you use quite a bit from the nearby river, right?
I mean, we have our own water system, if that's what you mean. Water flows through our taps.
Yeah, from the nearby river, I presume.
Not necessarily. It's just like it would in the city. We got our basic sewers, basic water sort of system.
Okay. We found there's something very odd going on with the river nearby.
Like what?
Okay. I'm gonna pull the the bottle of water out from wherever I kept it over the evening, and maybe show the white specks inside.
Or put in some bacon.
Oh yeah, that's a good
I
point.
mean, no, hell no. Don't put in no bacon.
Put in the bacon. Put in the fat from the bacon.
Okay.
That's the best bit.
So
what are you
Shut
doing?
up over there.
You see her sort of pull her specs down, and sort of her eyes get quite big as it sort of these big reading magnifying glasses. And she leans in quite curiously, and you can see kind of like just how sort of wrinkled, sort of crow's eyes around her. So tell me exactly what you're doing, Evelyn.
Right, I'm gonna expressly tell her not to get too close to the water because we think it's very dangerous.
Okay.
We don't know what's wrong with it, but we think that the white specks might be a disease or some type of little animal that is causing problems.
Okay.
And then I want to take as I open up the bottle, and then take a strip of bacon, not just the fat, just in case they don't like fat. We don't know what they are. And then drop it in. You
Okay.
gotta feed them something. Can't just
Okay.
be fat.
So the white specks, regardless of the movement of the bottle, they just sort of tend to just move around and sort of float, highlighted sort of by the morning sort of sun coming through the window. As you drop in the bacon, sort of the bacon just bloop, and floats steadily to the bottom, and nothing really happens.
Nothing happens. Ah,
You just wasted that there bacon.
I know. It's
And
depressing.
She looks at you with sort of a puzzled look. Is something
I'm-
meant to happen, young girl?
Last time we saw this happen, the kids in town did it, and the bacon just disappeared.
So, and she kind of turns. She's like, "You often put bacon in water?"
No, I like to eat my fatty
It's a
bacon.
British tradition.
I, maybe that's something you
I kind of sit
do
up and
across
say,
the pond.
this is what we give to friends.
And the puzzled look just gets more and more.
Okay, I'm gonna test her. If she's still here, I'm gonna pour a little drop onto my hand.
Okay.
That's like onto my finger.
Okay.
Maybe a little finger.
Okay. So as the water plops out, a speck in the middle, you can see that it lingers on your finger for a second, and then is sort of absorbed by your finger. Can you make?
She saw that, right?
She saw it. She saw it, and she sort of gasps for a second.
Okay, that's
and
good. As long as we got someone else to look at this shit.
Can you make a hard Constitution roll, please?
No, I mean I can. Can't make it a Constitution roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend 200 points of luck.
I'm just gonna go mod your character sheet for a second. Okay. So almost instantaneously, you have this feeling of ecstasy. You feel really, really good about yourself, and kind of any kind of grass chafing from yesterday, any kind of tiredness or soreness from the walking you've done, pretty much dissipates instantly. Yeah. So you feel really, really good. Like, that was the best damn meal you've ever had. And God, just look how nice the sun is shining through this window. Everything is fantastic.
Wow. I mean, that didn't have the effect that I thought it was going to.
And
but...
almost upon looking upon Evelyn from your two perspective, she looks better. Like, there's a colour in her face. Her tan from working in the sun for the last few days looks slightly better. She looks good.
Yeah, you're right, boys.
Having seen her pour the water onto her hand or finger that, like, literally we have been saying is dangerous for the last day, and we've seen a forest try and kill us. I'm just like, hell, what the hell do you think you are doing, woman? And I take the bottle of water off her, and it's just like,
I don't know, but you should definitely try pouring it on your finger, because apparently it just makes you feel great.
I am fine, thank you. And I close the bottle up.
Okay.
I'm kind of, yeah. I'm utter confusion at this point, because that's not what anything should do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't see somebody, the water absorbs straight away on the finger, and then the tan appearing, and you know.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to. I was expecting to like do a little dent or something in my finger, like when I tried to eat it, rather than feeling good.
I have to say, my apprehension was you were going to lose a finger.
Yeah.
That's not the first time we have.
Yeah, it felt good. The tea last night before we went to bed.
Um,
Which I assume was made with the same water.
I assume so. Mrs. Jarvie, would you be able to furnish us with some provisions for our day's exploring?
We ain't got much, but I'm sure we can spare something.
Just a little something, and I will be perfectly willing to reimburse you for it.
What y'all needing?
Just some bread and some more of that mighty fine bacon, if you got any.
Or a torch. Have you got a torch for lighting the way? Or maybe something that you used to see at night?
Some kind of lantern.
Yeah, we got some old landers out of the tool shed. We can certainly get some of them.
Sweet, that'd be
Could
great.
we trouble you for some boiled water as well?
And she looks at you for a second. And she's like, "Boiled?
Did you see what happened, Birch? I don't say that, but like.
Is that your internal monologue there?
Yeah, like what the fuck, girl? You just see the fucking water go into someone's hand.
I understand that whatever I say at this point isn't going to be taken that well. So I'm just unfortunately, my constitution has taken a little bit of a battering due to the travel from the UK.
Okay."
So boiled water's probably the best thing for me at the moment.
And she sort of smiles and turns away to go start sort of packing up some sort of wrapping things in cloth and getting things ready for you. So you can see her making some sort of thick sandwiches with cutting the bacon thicker so it's almost like ham. But as she's walking away, you go, mighty strange British, yeah. And
I mean, if it wouldn't trouble you too much, I would much rather a flask of coffee. Much, much, much rather than boiled water. God, it must be so grey and dull over there in the UK.
And you can see her sort of looking through some of the cupboards. She's like, "Afraid I ain't got no flask there, Obadiah."
That's okay, I don't mind.
And
I will pass on the coffee.
You want the cold coffee?
And it takes.
I'm at this point, I kind of gently reach over for Evelyn's hand and start looking at the finger, just as if what's going on type of a thing.
Okay.
I'm just going to accept it because I know.
Well, it's not an inappropriate thing. It's just kind of looking, saying what's going on.
Yeah. It's more. I'd probably be a bit weirded out if I didn't know that you just like grabbing things.
Yeah.
Not in a sexual way.
Yeah.
All of you weirdos out there.
Okay. So I'm just looking for a skill, sort of like investigate or something that would more fit the bill. What exactly are you looking, Phil?
I'm just looking to see if
injury
if there's anything there, injury, if there's anything weird about it, because obviously the water just absorbing into the skin on its own is a very, very strange thing. And then to see somebody's kind of become more vital instantly, it's not known, is it?
Yeah. So it's probably gonna be a medicine, I imagine. Just that the
I'm finding nothing.
I mean, that skin is soft. It's very nice. It doesn't look like it's done any damage. You can still see up on close examination, like her fingerprints are still there. It's not like it's sort of melted them away. But her skin is very, almost like fresh, moisturized. It's very soft. It's very supple. It's nice.
Would I be able to have a look?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, well, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Nailed it. Yeah, I can't really think of a reason.
Is that even the same finger, Evelyn?
I don't even know. I'm just having a great time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when I don't know, perhaps maybe when you shaved and you just kind of feel like, oh god, this is smooth, this is nice, kind of like it's just that sensation that you just keep playing with. It's like,
Yeah, I know about when shaving.
oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So a
Should we
couple of
grab
minutes
the
pass.
tools and
Yeah.
then-
So a couple of minutes pass, and she comes out and she brings you. You know, you can hear the whistle of the kettle, and she brings you out those kind of like what do you call them? Sort of like tall sort of glass bottles with a stopper in them, and then there's a few almost kind of like two big packs of tied together sort of cloth. One sort of presumably has bread in it, and a couple of sandwiches, and the other has a few bits of fruit, sort of assembled together. And then she sort of heads off outside to seemingly go get some torches.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I put the 2 bottles into like my big duster pockets.
Yeah. So
And then
they're probably about a litre each.
Not too bad then.
Yeah.
It'll
If,
keep us going
uh,
for a day.
if one of you wouldn't mind carrying those provisions, I will carry the water.
Yeah, I'd kind of walk over and pack the provisions up in. I'm guessing we would have some type of rucksack with us.
I've got a bag.
Yeah, but yeah, put it in a bag and I get it in a position where I can carry it without straining myself too much.
And sort of a few moments more, and she kind of returns and she holds up this kind of like a hooded lantern. No, none of them torches you have in the city, but I've got this here lantern. It's a little bit rusted, but does the job. Full of some kerosene.
Good enough for us. Hopefully, we won't be in there very long if we can even get in.
So thank you very much, Miss Garvey. It's very much appreciated.
No worries. You all be safe now.
Do you know if there's an easy way of getting to the cave without going to the nearby farm? We don't really want to annoy the neighbors.
Well, I suppose you could climb over the fence at the back there, and you might be able to take a sort of a rough route round, or just following up the river.
Okay. Have you been up towards the cave recently, or
No,
in general?
not really one of my interests. You see, never had no reason to explore that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Why, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your hospitality. Hopefully, we won't be in your hair for very much longer. I think we're coming to the end of our investigation.
Oh, it's no troubles.
One last thing, Mrs. Jarvie. You mentioned you filled it with kerosene. How much kerosene do you have access to here on the farm?
A fair amount. We don't get much supplies, so a few tanks.
Man, thanks.
That is the ominous thing you've said ever. Right, let's get out of here. Let's go to the cave. Do you guys want to go up, or do you want to go along to the dam?
I want to go up.
Yeah,
Let's go up.
yeah. It's too far to go the other way.
Yeah. I think also that takes us near the Commodity farm, and
Maybe from the actual fence line, we can see any part of the Carmody farm.
Yeah.
And then we
Let's
can
do
go from there.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So as you leave kind of the main farmhouse is kind of coming up to about 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun is nice and strong, and you can see Mr. Jarvie sort of mucking out some of his cows. He's hard at work and doesn't notice you. And it's generally, if it wasn't so muggy, it'd be a really beautiful day. And as you kind of walk up towards past the barns, you can see quite a tall fence, but it looks as though it would be climbable with a bit of help.
okay. Is there any obvious breaks in it?
No, it seems like a solid fence, generally not used for entrances.
Sure. I just go up to the fence and like knit my fingers and like offer to whoever wants to go first.
Charles first.
Yeah, so I'd take the queue and try and get myself over the fence.
And it's easy enough. It's not a ridiculously big fence. It's just awkward, if that makes sense. And you go at the other side and kind of you're sort of more into kind of grasslands that's a little bit less tamed, and you can see sort of I suppose that the foliage is quite thick. You don't really see more than sort of 50 yards. It's pretty thick and not well tamed here, but it seems to be in good health.
I'll hop over.
Yeah.
Again, assist on the other way.
Yeah.
And then I'll do my best to scramble over, I guess, by myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's fairly easy enough. Yeah.
Cool. And then I think we should. Are you guys wanting to stick to the fence, the boundary fence, all the way to the river, and then keep an eye on the commodity farm and see what we.
Yeah. Maybe not up against the farm. Up against the fence completely, if that makes sense. Just in case they are particularly territorial.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose as you trek past it, it's quite hard work. It's not a travelled path by any means. And I suppose what you can see from here is that there are long, towering stalks of corn, at least 12 feet high. Solid. Can someone roll a spot hidden?
Yeah.
Can I roll a natural world check to know if corn normally grows that high?
Yeah, you roll that, son. Okay.
Are we all rolling spot hidden, or is it just?
Yeah, it's just one, because I suppose what I'm conscious of is if everyone rolls every time, we're almost always gonna find the clue.
I'll just roll whenever I can because I'm stupidly high.
Yeah, usually you just pick the best in the group, if you're all there. So what you notice as you're sort of staring at this corn is some of the stalks look rotten. There is very similar black and green viscous liquid like dropping down the stems, which you kind of recognise from the woods. It's a very strong, sweet smell of corruption penetrating through the area. And even though there's no breeze in the air because it's so hot, they seem to just drift in breezeless.
Okay. So exactly the same as the trees that we saw and the black bile that we saw from Pete.
Right, is this all the way around us as well? All of the sort of vegetation we've seen, or is it towards the farm?
The corn itself, yeah. Apart from that, it looks reasonably healthy. From if we say you're kind of around here at the minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mention it to the others if they haven't noticed it.
Sure. Unfortunately, Obadiah, you are not one for city. You are one city folk. It's quite amazing how tall this corn is. I mean, crikey, have you seen such a thing? These guys must know what they're doing.
I mean, they must know quite how to farm, because quite frankly, that corn looks taller than I would ever have imagined corn to go. But I assume that's probably normal, right? Like, just good farmers.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I assume you point out the grim, but it does look a bit sickly there. And quite frankly, after the woods, I am not stepping foot in that cornfield.
I can't imagine corn being quite as deadly as the trees.
I'm kind of keeping an eye on it anyway.
I'm doing my best not to be vulgar.
Can we see? Because it's so tall, we can't actually see the farm itself, right?
I suppose what you can see. What would you be able to see from here? You can see a large building, and there is. Just thinking whether or not you'd see it. You can see a distinctly large building, and there is sort of heat rising up from the building, even though it's already quite a warm day. You can see that. And you can see a very large grain silo sort of on. So the building with the heat is kind of on the right hand side of the boundary fence, and on the left hand side you can see a very large grain silo.
Okay. I think we should keep going towards the cave. I'm getting very odd vibes from this place.
I mean, like I said, I am not walking through that cornfield.
I completely agree.
So
We need to go to the cave.
I won't lie, I do know where a lot of kerosene is, though.
Well, I'm in a mood to burn things myself after what happened yesterday. I don't like the look of that corn. I don't like the smell that's coming off it. There's a wrongness around this place.
cool. I think if we go check the cave, maybe see if we can find anything else out, and then we can maybe decide what we want to do about the commodity farm. Because yeah.
I mean, that sounds good enough for me.
Okay. So you carry on trekking, and it maybe takes you about 20 minutes of sort of average paced walking till you find yourself back at the creek. Again, kind of it's very much similar to the last time you saw it yesterday, in that there are flecks, sort of you can still see them even though the river is going down towards the dam, and sort of the vegetation around the sides, it looks much more sickly. It looks off, and you start to sort of make your way, now that you've hit the creek, sort of going upwards, and it starts to have some sort of an incline going up. It looks like you're kind of going up some hills, but it's not too steep at the moment. Can someone roll a spot hidden?
I'm loving it.
Okay. Everything seems to look fine. You don't really seem to spot anything out of place at the moment. You kind of can distinguish that from where you were yesterday. Perhaps you're about 3/4 of a mile away from the dam, and you can see sort of the campsite from this point of view. Yeah.
Cool. Can we see the cave yet, or?
No. So as you're kind of walking up, as you get closer, it gets harder and harder to get through the vegetation. It seems like it's thicker, it's less travelled, and we're sort of talking like you're going through sort of thick the grass that's kind of up to your waist. It's really quite difficult to get through, and I take it. Are you following the water, or are you sort of where are you going?
I presume the water's the best idea to follow.
Yeah.
Can I make a check, or can I look around to see if there's any other, sort of like a downtrodden path or something? Because it's only been 3 months since someone potentially came here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a hard spot hidden.
I believe in the heart of the dice.
No,
I don't believe in the heart of the dice.
it's just too thick. You have no idea where things would be at this moment. So I'm going to change map. Now I'm hoping this will work and I won't show you the entire map. So let me know. Can you just see
that works? We can
black
see
everywhere.
Black everywhere. Fantastic. Okay. So
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
so you might have to scroll down.
Yeah.
So as the last couple of 100 yards, as you're sort of approaching up, it gets incredibly difficult. Everything around here has been, I suppose, it's a tiny bit boggy, but everything around it is ginormous. So there are stalks of grass as tall as a person, and it's as thick as one of your arms. All the flowers around them has grown to the size of a manhole cover, and they're also dripping this black liquid as opposed to pollen. Berries and seed pods lie split and rotten all over the ground, and their tacky innards seething with large deformed worms and insects. And everything is just a bit odd. It's very vibrant. It's very, really strong oranges, livid, bruised purples for some orchids. It's very sort of tropical sort of life around here. But what hits you the hardest is the smell. It's so sweet, but yet so sickly all at the same time. And nothing you've ever seen is like this, and it's absolutely baffling. Can everyone make a sanity roll?
Here we go. Oh no!
Okay. Charles, can you roll a d4, please?
I certainly can. Although, how much luck do I have? I have 50 luck. Yeah, I'll roll a d4. Just, 4/. Oh, /roll. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So while all of this is happening, Obadiah is not really like concentrating and focusing. He's like elsewhere in his thoughts. Like as probably as Charles begins to freak out or whatever happens, Obadiah turns to you both and is like, "What do you suppose they were feeding those pigs?"
I don't know. I'm not sure what you'd feed pigs. I just assumed the water was the thing that caused the pigs to go mad.
We assumed that all of us, given your hypothesis, but hear me out now. This water seems to make things grow big until it's a plant, and then it makes it grow dangerous. What do you suppose? It's not the water that's doing this, but the plants, and feeding those plants to things like making tea out of it might possibly be the bad thing. I mean, the water seemed to make you feel good, did it not?
Yeah.
I mean, right standing out here might not be the best time to test this theory of mine. Maybe science should be done elsewhere at another point in time. But I'm just proposing that it's not the water that is doing this, but the plant life itself.
But it's all based around the water.
By all means, sure. But it seems to
You convert
it only stands to reason that all these people in this town must be subsisting off something, and it's gonna be the farmland and the farm produce, and possibly it's all the worse because of that water being fed to the plants. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here because I would be surprised given that I don't know. We should test it. Perhaps not standing out here in the open in what could be incredibly dangerous circumstance.
Wow.
While this conversation is going on, obviously I'm going a bit, skewy. And my natural instincts is always going to be sort of, there's a big gribbly somewhere. There's, what I mean? It's all cults. It's all the supernatural. Can I make an occult roll to see if I can make sense of anything that's going wrong in that sort of way? So
Yeah,
let's
try.
Oh, I'd hit it twice, unfortunately.
Okay. So just describe to me, so I can describe to you what exactly you're kind of looking at in order to make this into kind of an occult roll.
Well, have we come up to the cave mouth itself yet, or are we just at the pool?
Not yet.
Well, then I'm looking around and looking for geometric shapes. I'm looking for real life symbols of cults and things that I may have seen in the past or that have been part of the studies that I've done. I'm looking for anything that I can see as part of the occult. I'm not going to say mythos because that's a different thing, but anything that kind of links to my sort of paranormal research.
Sure.
That I can kind of link with what's going on around.
Sure. So you've known cults in the past that they might take certain substances in order to gain closer religious spirituality and sort of, suicide pacts and things like that. But it doesn't feel like that. You're not quite sure what it is, but at the minute it just seems very odd terrain. Really, really strange kind of plants, but it's not like anything that you kind of have read before in relation to kind of, you don't recognize these as being a particular poison or something that people might, these plants aren't in any of the stories that you've read about.
Okay. And is that a similar thing with the black substance coming out of it that
Well, there are stories about people bleeding black. There are stories about people, from old kind of books and stories about kind of the four humours, knowing about black bile as being one. If that's an imbalance, that can cause certain temperament changes. So yeah, you kind of think about that for a bit.
Okay.
Should we try to go in, or
I think it might be an idea to look around the pool for a bit longer and
Are
then
we
head
in-
towards Camo?
are we?
So
Where-
at the present,
whereabouts are
you're kind of just cresting, and it's so you can hear a significant amount of water, but you haven't sort of crested the terrain to see the pool yet.
Is this here and here the really thick, tall grass?
Yeah, and bizarre plants.
Yeah, after yesterday, let's not walk through the grass.
I mean,
Yeah.
I won't lie. I really do wish I brought some of that kerosene. Does it look like there's any way through and past it without walking through those plants?
You could walk through the grass and avoid the parts with ease if you stay close to the water. You think if you were careful enough, there's easily sort of a 3 feet gap that you could sort of walk up.
Do that?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good to me.
So
Mm-hmm.
as you kind of make your way through, the strong smell of that sweetness is ever present, and you can see in front of you sort of a large pool, much like the dam pool, with similar kind of flecks floating around, and you can see that the water is coming out of, it's rolling out of the rocks from a cave, the mouth of the cave. It's probably about 6 feet wide. So the pool is ginormous. The pool's sort of like 30 feet wide, and it looks incredibly deep that you can't see the bottom. Whereas the coming out of the mouth cave itself, it looks maybe to be sort of 6 feet wide, and it's sort of more of a steady stream, and you can see the rocks underneath as opposed to being like a river, if that makes sense. But it looks, it's coming down. It gets ever steep. So you've been going up and up and up, but the cave itself now, the looking into it, the water is coming down at sort of a 20 feet sort of like sharp angle. And there's rubble all around sort of the outside of the cave, and all the rocks are kind of slightly damp, and there's it's all covered in moss, and it looks like it'd be quite difficult to get up there.
Can we see if there's any signs that people have actually been here recently, as in beyond the point where Henry and the rest of the excavation crew would have been here?
It'd be hard to determine the exact time frame. I mean, I know if you're looking for very recent things, nothing seems too sort of out of place. But can make a spot hidden roll, someone, please? It sounds like, are you examining it as well, Charles? You're sort of looking. It sounds.
Yeah.
I was going to say advantage, but you don't need it. So underneath a part, you can see sort of up near the entrance to the cave where there's sort of significant amount of debris. You can see that there is a wooden crate underneath, and on the I've lost my words. On the outside, it's a bit difficult to see from this distance what exactly it is, but you see sort of an N and an E kind of on the side of the crate.
Is that on our side of the pool, or is that on the other side of the So
So if you
like,
went all the way
because
round the
we're
outside,
obviously
it's there.
okay. It's just there. Okay,
Yeah,
and we're on this side, right?
you're on there.
This
Yeah,
side,
because you come from the farm.
yeah. Can we do that without getting into the water? Does it look like?
It's possible, but it looks incredibly difficult to climb up this steep angle. It looks doable, but difficult.
All right. I think we should do it. I mean, someone's obviously been up there, so it's not impossible.
But
I agree.
After you, I suppose.
I don't think there's going to be a better way of getting up there.
Did anybody bring any rope?
Yeah, don't think so. Well, I'll check my. I don't know. I don't think my character would have rope anyway. Even if I had for some reason written it down.
I have a gun and some clothing.
Well, then it looks like we're free climbing.
So yeah, I'm quite happy to climb. I'm guessing we're assisting as each other the best we can.
Okay, so you start to climb, and I suppose as immediately as you sort of touch, the rocks are reasonably difficult to grab. Can you, one by one, make a climb check, please?
I mean, I won't lie. If one of them falls off, I ain't climbing up. But okay. I see.
Okay. So, you, as all three of you start to try and climb, you manage to sort of grasp and you get slightly up, and it's difficult, it's slipping, it's hard to get footing, and almost one by one, each of you falls down, and you each take, so in order, 2 points of damage for Charles. Oh, that's the wrong button.
Jesus Christ.
2 points of damage for Evelyn, and 4 points of damage for Obadiah. And Charles, as you fall down, sort of, you lose sort of grips on everything that's kind of in your purse and your pockets, and your handgun falls out and clambers down to the floor.
Okay, is this like it's in the river, or is this I can just reach for it?
You can get up. It's just you dropped it.
Okay, well I obviously go down to pick up the gun because I'm not going anywhere without that.
Yeah.
Do I notice anything when I'm down there? Is there something? Do I need to look around?
No, I suppose it takes a bit of time, and sort of you start to plot out your route, and after maybe a good few minutes, you think, actually, I think that, if I go there and then I go there, and if I really take my time and go slow, I think I'll probably be able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Okay. So dusting yourself off, you kind of sort of get back up, and with slightly scraped hands, you start to climb again, and you probably get about halfway until your hand touches some moss, and it's a really weird sensation because it feels as though the moss is moving underneath your hands, and it is essentially, when you look at it, it is moving and reacting to being touched.
Well, I kind of would want to let go, but at the same time wouldn't, because I'm halfway up quite a high area, I'm guessing, by this point.
Yeah.
Can we look and try and point out the best route for him? Because I presume it might be quite hard for him
when he's up there.
Yeah,
that's not a problem. Yeah, you can shout to him.
Do I need to make any lay spot hidden, or?
No, it's easy enough to see.
I'm going to be shouting down, look, this is the strangest thing. The moss feels like it's moving. I'm not going to shout down it's alive because it's moss. It is alive, but I can feel it under my hand. It's not. This isn't right.
I mean, none of this is right, Charles.
No, it feels like like yesterday in the woods. It's not right.
I
I
mean,
mean, you're welcome to come down, but we should probably find out what's in this cave.
How easy would it be to pull this moss off and kind of drop it down to them to look at?
It's easy enough to. It would be easy enough to pull off, but in terms of like pulling it off as a clump, it could be. It might be quite difficult to get a decent chunk. Excuse me.
Bless
Bless you, sir.
bless you.
Would I guess I'm just going to try and climb up again and just. I'm halfway up. It's easy to get to where I'm going as it is to go back down now. So I'm going to have to just keep on going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna point out the best bits for him
Okay.
as he goes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna sit on the floor, rubbing the bit of whatever bit of me that really hurt.
Yeah. Okay. So your butt is really sore
No.
as you fell flat on your coccyx. So can you make one more climb check, please, Charles?
Well, I can attempt to.
I believe in you, Charles.
So yeah, but I don't believe in 20%.
That's 1 in 5.
Okay. So as you get up, you get to almost to the point where you can pull yourself over to the top, and you can see the crate that Evelyn pointed out to you. And as you go to put your hand up, your arm goes into some of the water, and you manage to pull yourself up and over safely, but you've gotten yourself wet. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
I can attempt to. I'm hoping I fail this and I get my 2 points of health back. Or watch me pass it and it becomes flesh-eaten and I die. So it's just Constitution, right?
Okay. And it appears that nothing really happens. Your arm is wet and soggy, and you shake it off, but everything seems okay. And now that you're kind of up to the top, you can actually read a little bit more of this box, and it says glycerin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've found some dynamite. I'm going to look around to see if it's just in the box or if there's any being placed anywhere around.
So it would seem, if now that you're kind of aware of it, it seems like there's been sort of a minor explosion, and that's come down onto the boxes itself. But it seems like there are no other bits left.
Okay. So it seems like that's been used to cause this explosion rather than it's set up to cause an explosion again.
Yes. And upon further inspection, there is some left in the box, and it is ever so slightly damp.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So yeah.
Are you telling us this?
Yeah, I've found some dynamite, and it appears to be damp. Should I be worried?
I would assume that Obadiah would at least to some degree know. Can I make a science engineering or science physics check?
Go for it.
I mean, neither of them are chemistry, and I would assume that's what would be most applicable.
Let's just see from your knowledge of demolitions, and so you're not really sure to what degree it would work. Well, does it affect it in any way that it would go off? You're not really sure.
Okay. I mean, we can try it, but if it's anything like a car engine, probably don't want to put water in it. God knows, though. You don't fuel cars with TNT, my friend.
I take the dynamite, then I kind of wrap it the best I can with whatever I've got available. I put it in my pack.
Okay.
Am I near the entrance of the cave itself now? Can I just examine the explosion? See if there's a way in. Information I can shout down to those two.
Sure. So it looks like part of the cave mouth has come down on the right hand side to where, almost if you imagine kind of you come up onto a lip, there is a decent enough size that you can get through, but there is water on the floor that you'd either have to hop over or walk in. and it's not very deep. It's maybe sort of a centimetre or two, and it's reasonably fast flowing. But it looks like whatever explosion went off, it didn't really do a good job.
Mhm. Did I pick my gun up before I started going? No, did I not?
You said you did.
I didn't. Okay, that's okay then. So I kind of shout down to these guys. Look, guys, I found the entrance to the cave. You guys need to come up, get up here as the best we can. I mean, I'm looking around. Is there another way up that doesn't involve them sort of climbing and falling to the death? And
it looks difficult. It seems like you probably went up the best route.
Yeah, so I'll kind of relay that information down that this is from here. That looks the best way to get up here. We need to get into the cave to see what's going on. I just kind of described the scene to everybody.
Cool. I'm gonna try and I'll go the same way as Charles.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of angry. I want to do it.
Okay. So this is quite exertion for you in the sense that you're used to being in a library for most of the time, and it's difficult, and your arms burn with that kind of that sort of acidic feel in your muscles. But you manage it, and can you just roll a climb check with me again? Okay. So you very overconfidently clamber up. You can feel what he meant by the squirming feeling of the moss, and you go up almost doubly fast as Charles went, but almost certainly you get half of your body within the water, and some goes in your mouth. Can you make a hard constitution roll, please? Okay. Okay, good to know. And eventually you manage to pull yourself over to the lip, panting as you go. And kind of, whilst it is not nice to be wet, it's also a little bit refreshing in this heat.
Sitting at the bottom, I'm like, oh dear God, I'm gonna have to climb that. I never did like climbing. I get up, I start climbing.
Okay. And again, you sort of follow the path, sort of almost admiring just how quick this young girl sort of leaped up this incredibly thick, sort of very very difficult kind of bouldering sort of scenario. And as you get to the top to avoid the water, can you roll a climb?
I can.
Okay. And it's not necessarily, you can see just how wet Evelyn got, and you managed to get your fingertips in the water and sort of move very suddenly so that you don't slip down. But eventually you manage to pull yourself again over to the lip, as you can see Charles putting 6 sticks of dynamite into his bag, along with sitting nicely on top of your lunch.
Natural glycerine sandwiches.
Oh yes. Can you roll a con save, please?
I most assuredly can.
Okay. So the soreness in your coccyx dissipates quickly. The pain in your hands from scratching it up on these rocks, there is no chafing to your hands, and you feel pretty good. And almost that sweet sickly smell smells pretty nice, actually. It's refreshing to be up here. It's nice to be out of the office. The sound of the water is lovely. It's relaxing. We should do this more often.
I'll rethink climbing. Seems pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of just giving him a very odd look.
How's that TNT sitting?
It's wet. I don't think it's going to explode.
Okay. Should we keep going in? Maybe have a look around and see if there's any signs of all like people walking into the cave?
Yep, I think that would be a really good idea.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest that we light the lamp now while we can see, rather than trying to do it in the dark.
Okay.
By all means, and might I suggest that you don't carry it, Charles? I mean,
I think that's a very good idea.
I'm not. I know. I'm not like totally au fait with how TNT works, but fairly sure that
We
carrying
could
a
set
lit
fire
kerosene
to it.
lamp
Yeah,
is not the best idea.
I concur. Would you like to carry the lamp?
Me? No. Let Evelyn do it.
Okay. So as you start to prep yourselves to decide how you're getting into the cave, Evelyn, you start to feel much like you have in the past. The feelings of sorrow and kind of that morning of waking up after overindulging in gin really hits you, and you feel kind of hungover. You feel your belly is a little bit bloated, as if you're, sort of getting to that time of the month. You feel rough. You don't feel well, but it feels as though you've just eaten way too much bacon. You don't feel great. And as you look at her, she kind of looks a bit sweaty and a bit shiny with perspiration. Can you roll a luck roll?
Yes. What are you on about, dude? Do I even need to roll this?
Fail.
100.
Can you roll 2d10?
That's what you get.
That is
That is literally.
actually amazing.
I assume you can't spend luck to pass luck tests.
I don't think so. 18. Okay. Could you remove that from your appearance?
Oh, yeah.
So as you look at her, the glow that was there this morning, this beautiful sort of young lady, she looks kind of haggard. She looks kind of drawn. Her skin a pasty white. She looks as though she is aged, and she does not look in a good place. And you can see her sort of holding her belly, and sort of just sweating.
Are you okay, Evelyn? You look really not fine.
No, I don't feel great. Could you hold this candle for me? Or the lantern?
Okay. I'll hold it.
I just.
What is it that's made you feel not so well?
Probably that water that we fell through. Or I fell through.
You might want to try and make yourself throw up or something if that's that bad.
I thought about it. Oh, pardon me. I thought about it, but because it absorbs, I don't think it would go straight into the stomach.
Now see.
So I think it just make me feel even worse. So I'm just gonna carry on.
Fine. We'll keep a watchful eye on you.
Cool. I'll go after you, and then maybe Charles can go behind. And if I fall over or whatever, then
Yeah, I will do the gentlemanly thing and pick you back up.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to suggest that we, and I'm probably very eager at this point to get forward and look what's going on in this cave. Can I make maybe a spot hidden check to see if we can see any kind of signs that people have been in
Yeah.
beyond? That it's that we're looking for Henry and his wife, aren't we? So that's what we'd be looking for. We'd be looking for signs that people have been there.
Yeah.
So where am I? Spot hidden.
Okay. So it looks as though almost reasonably natural within the cave that there is kind of like a bit of a footpath, but it is constantly overrun with water, and sort of any signs that people have been here has been washed away. You can see reasonably far into the cave, and it looks like sort of just kind of a waterway sort of all the way up. The smell of sort of rotting meat is mixed with a sort of sickly, sweet smell of overripe fruit, which is just overpowering. And the walls look kind of sticky, with almost like a sap-like look.
Would we recognise it as similar to what were coming out of the plants? Or is it too dark?
I suppose as you shine the light up to it, it doesn't look black and green viscous. It's kind of like a clear liquid.
Okay. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll again very cautiously touch it with the end of my little finger.
Yeah. So as you touch it, it kind of like you can see it kind of stringy, and it's this long gooey sort of liquid. It's very, very thick. It's very, very stringy, kind of a bit like, snot. It is just kind of sticking to you, but it doesn't nothing happens. It's just not nice.
Okay, don't touch that. It's not nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I was gonna. You do you, Mr. Investigator.
I suppose as you spend kind of time looking at it between your fingers, you notice that it is ever so slightly phosphorescent, and it gives off a very, very gentle sort of purple, glow, which is hard to tell when you were shining the light to and from. But as kind of Evelyn's looking, or Obadiah's looking around, and it sort of takes off you for a second, you can see it's got an ever so slightly faint glow to it all the way up the side of the cave.
I just stand at the cave looking at you both, like one of you looking really ill and one of you like touching green goo on the cave, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Henry! Abigail! And I just like call out into the cave.
And it just goes, Henry, Abigail. And it sort of reverberates off the walls. And it feels like this is quite a deep cave. But as such, there is no reply.
I wasn't expecting anything, so...
I guess if we are the guests of Henry and Abigail, they're waiting further down the cave. Shall we continue?
Yep. I don't think so. We're not going to get anything from the mouth of the cave.
No. So again, yeah, let's just... Again, Obadiah, are you happy for us to continue into the cave?
I'm perfectly happy. I ain't gonna touch nothing. You do you.
Okay. So as you start to walk up, oh no, I have to delete the whole map.
The world's disappeared. No.
Disappeared. There we go. As you start to walk up, you can see that the path kind of gets narrower and thicker to the walls, and there is no other choice than to get sort of your shoes wet. As this constant trickle of water goes through. And I suppose as you start to make your way up further and further, the stream itself, as it were, sort of opens up and gets wider, and you start to hear sort of the faint sounds of someone sobbing.
Do you hear that too?
Hello? Yeah. Is anybody in there?
And there's no response. It just keeps this sobbing.
I'm guessing we've got directionally we know where it's coming from.
Just straight up, yeah.
Yeah. Then my thing is that I always need to follow things through to the end. I always need to. So I'm kind of right. Let's go. Let's find what's happening.
Yeah, sounds fine to me. I will note though that the vegetation on our side is nowhere near the water, like the warped vegetation. This is a bit weird. Like, I'm just going along with Obadiah's theory. I
won't lie. I'm assuming everything in here is a bit damp.
Yeah. Just why would it stop? You would have thought everything here builds up, you know?
You'd have thought, yeah. Let's carry on, shall we? I'm holding the lamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I shine it into this bigger pool and see if I can see anything in it?
Yeah, sure. I won't make you roll for it because largely it just looks exactly like the pool and the dam before. There is more of a mass of white flecks floating as they sort of move. They don't necessarily react to the light, but there's a significant amount of them.
Can we throw something in it? A rock, something like that. Something
Evelyn,
like
Yeah.
I don't really fancy
At this
throwing
point,
Evelyn
I'm
in,
old
but
and haggard.
I mean, we can throw whatever you like in it. I pick out one shotgun shell from my pocket because I think it's probably the easiest thing to throw into it. Unless I probably actually have some change. What's worth more change in this? I throw in a shotgun shell.
Okay, so as you throw it, it goes, "Rup," and you just see as it slowly goes into the darkness where the light can't sort of penetrate too much. Nothing untoward happens, and the flecks don't even move towards it.
Okay, would from that I be able to tell roughly how deep it looks?
You can't see the bottom, so you know that it's at least sort of 5-6 feet deep, at least.
Okay.
have we got anything that would count as being alive that we can throw in there?
I mean, yes,
Because so far
Evelyn, I told you.
The water seems to react to things that are alive, not to things that either are no longer alive or inanimate.
What do they
But
feed?
that
What do the kids feed it?
A worm.
worm,
I mean, there were worms and things in the vegetation. We could quickly see if we can grab to one of those.
yeah.
Are we going to be doing this, or are we not just going to go towards the sobbing?
I mean, I would rather go towards the Sobbin and find out who's in jeopardy.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
fine for testing out the water later, but
I mean, like I said, this is
Finding.
possibly not the time for science.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to find out. I just thought if we threw something in there and saw that we're eating live things, we know definitely not to go in it.
I'm fairly sure we
No, not to go in
we
it
could
anyway.
assume that for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as you start to progress, I suppose, making your way around the vegetation, it's still these large, vibrant sort of plants, which is odd because it doesn't really match with the landscape that you've been coming up past in the general Blackwater Creek. Everything's been kind of, farmlandish. It's been kind of sort of deserty, and sort of even the woods themselves, they were thick, but they weren't necessarily exotic. And as you sort of move up, you kind of notice, if I can move this, okay, it starts to curve round, and you start to begin to see tall stalagmites as they sort of protrude, and stalactites as they protrude from the ground and the ceiling.
Do they also have the green goo on them?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they especially, the floor around it doesn't, but that does, and the walls do. But just oft as you can kind of see, as it starts to curve, it looks like the glow gets slightly stronger.
Okay. I mean, I don't see any reason to stop right now. I just keep powering through.
This is we either continue to the end or everything's been for nothing essentially. So
basically, as we go through, I keep an eye on the vegetation.
Okay.
Just the closest patch of vegetation, and Obadiah is probably still pretty damn paranoid about being choked out by plants.
Can everybody make a sanity roll?
Like I said, those plants, they come to get me. I don't trust this.
Obviously, didn't happen.
Okay.
So
Evelyn, the moans continue, and could, let me see. I'm just going to mute you for a second whilst I talk to the others.
Cool.
Okay. So as you get up, as you start to go around, the moans get louder and they become stronger, and it's kind of more in pain, more sort of shrill, sort of as they're crying out. You can hear, oh, oh, and for a second, it's really odd because you're not sure if that's the sound of your mother. It sounds familiar and it hits really deep to the core. It hurts. It instills a kind of panic in you as that's Mum. I can hear her, Mum, and it's really quite distressing to hear. So I'm going to bring Andy back in. So I'm going to do you in order. So Obadiah,
Yes.
lose 4 sanity. Evelyn, lose 4 sanity. And Charles, lose 20. Now, at this moment, he seems, as you're kind of stuck in this this period, Charles, you immediately can't handle it. It is too distressing, and you turn and you just start running away. You start running towards the mouth of the cave. I can't have it. I can't handle it. No again. I can't hear this. As you run, you just don't even care and don't even think about the other two, and you two witness this.
Seeing him run away,
Yeah.
I'm just usually like, Charles, don't run, don't do that with dynamite in your pockets. That's incredibly dangerous. Calm down, Charles.
I'm pegging it. Fight or flight type of thing, isn't it? I can't cope with it. I'm gone. Do I even care about the water? Am I just running straight through the middle of it? Or...
Yeah. You're just going.
I don't know what we can do. This Obadiah looks normal to me.
Yeah. He seems preoccupied. It's not, it's not nice. He seems to be listening intently to where is this coming from, what's going on. But other than that,
cool. I'm gonna Obadiah, are you hearing things about your mother?
I mean, I hear my mother, but I hear my mother in my heart all the time. She tells me all the secrets of the world, I guess. God rest her soul. I miss her so.
So it's probably the same thing that happened to me and Charles a few nights ago then. Do you want to go back for Charles, or do you think we should just keep going?
I mean, I'm gonna go find who's sobbing, because if it is my mother, I would very much like to ask her some questions about how she's still alive.
I think that's probably the better thing to do. I'm not sure. I'm sure Charles will be fine.
Yeah, sure. Running with dynamite in your pockets is often a way to be perfectly fine.
I did have an image of him running off into the distance and then just a boom. I don't out of character for it. I'm not sure coming back and getting you Ed is. Yeah, I was just saying I didn't mean to lead the party off without you, Charles. I just
No. I don't know how much you heard what I was saying, but I'm insane pretty much now.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to reason with you, so I think.
Yeah. I don't worry about it. I know what's going on with my guy. I understand what your decision is.
Okay, cool. So Obadiah, let's just try and figure what this is, and then we can report back to Charles.
Okay. I won't lie. I really hope he doesn't close the cave mouth on us.
How's he going? Oh, the dynamite, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go find Lola.
Whilst we split the party for a second, so Charles, as you're running past, you make your way past the stalactites and mites. You run past the wider perth of the pool. Can you make another sanity check?
I can attempt to.
You're gonna get more insane.
My sanity at the moment is 37. So.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. So everything that was previously described to you, this is real. This is absolutely terrifying and real, and you need to sort it out, but you can't face it. It's too hard to come to terms with. Lose 1 more sanity point.
Yep.
And as you continue running, you start on quite a steady decline. Yeah. as you're coming out to the cave mouth, and you're picking up speed, and you can see the entrance of the cave now. It's reassuring. You're getting further and further away. You've probably been running for 2 straight minutes now in an absolute sprint. As you get to the cave mouth, can you make one more sanity check, please?
Oh, I'm going to jump into the water. No.
Okay. Okay. Can you lose one more sanity point, please?
Yes, I can.
And very uncaringly, you make a long jump down part of the cave, sort of sliding as you're trying to get away as quick as possible. And in doing so, you injure yourself for 4 points. Okay?
Right.
And I'll leave you there whilst I go back to the other two. As you're in pure panic. Unfortunately, it's just too difficult. So, actually, this is probably quite a good place for a pause. It's 9:05. Let's have a wee break. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Let's build some tension.
No.
Okay, so let's bring it back to Evelyn and Obadiah, who are currently in the cave. Charles is... imagine these are simultaneously, so Charles is still running. And you've just gotten to the bottom of the cave. Exactly that. So tell me what you're doing. What's going on? You've just seen your friend... Well, your acquaintance.
Roughly where in the cave are we standing right now?
I would probably say you are... Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. About here. Just on the corner.
Just we can still hear the sobbing, right?
Yeah, intensely.
Okay, we'll just keep going, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Without
gonna
question.
acknowledge that Charles has run off, but having talked to Obadiah and knowing why he's probably ran off,
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
not overly I don't feel that going back is going to do anything for him or us.
Okay.
We're here to find Henry, so
Okay. So, as you begin to walk forward, as you're shining the light, the walls of the cave look slightly different. It begins to change in terms of texture, and it looks as though there's strange growths all over the walls. And there's this dull sort of sound of like... And it looks just like the growths are ever so slightly moving.
Can I roll a listen to work out what that sound is?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, got him. You're not sure. You can pick up its rhythm. You can pick up its pattern. It's probably like one beat every 2 seconds. But you're not sure what it is.
But it has a rhythm.
It has a rhythm to it, and it's consistent.
I guess I just tend to Evelyn and I'm like, we should step this up before shit gets really weird. I suspect.
yeah, I would get your if you give me the lantern, you can get your shotgun out. It's probably a much safer way to proceed.
I mean, that sounds good to me. I literally pull out the shotgun immediately and hand
Okay.
you the lantern, in that order.
Okay.
And then move forward.
So as you're starting to move forward, the walls become thicker and thicker with growths. And could one of you make a medicine or a biology roll?
Yeah,
Just one of us.
Yeah.
It'd be you, not me.
I don't think my biology is very good. Oh, biology's a thing. Yeah,
Biology's special, right?
it has non-existent.
Okay. As Obadiah is shining the torch around, you can kind of see...
I've got it now.
You've got it. Okay, so as you're kind of shining it around, looking at kind of what's going on, where you're going, you kind of catch sight of part of the growth. That's a heart. And liver? And as you turn around, sort of almost getting more panicky and kind of, what's going on? You can see lungs, you can see other internal organs all plastered around the cave, still moving with life.
Okay, are they connected in any way apart from just moss?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily moss. If you imagine kind of like spread out gore, sort of just this long, almost as if you turned a person inside out, but not there. It's all spread across the cave. And there's various of them. They're pulsing. They look sickly, sort of cancerous.
Okay, I'll point out to Obadiah.
No, I mean this is quite disturbing.
It is indeed. Can you both make another insanity roll, please?
An insanity roll.
Yeah, we're getting to that point where I think it's going to be an insanity roll.
I can't pass insanity.
Okay. Evelyn, this is scary. This is incredibly scary. So much so that an 8.
Tell me what happened to me.
Okay. Luck away.
Sorry, I thought you'd broken again.
Luck away, boy.
So do I just remove the
You
luck that I need to equal it, or
So you would need to spend 21 points.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
21
fine by
points,
me.
22 points.
22.
23 points.
And I just take it off directly, right?
Forever.
Done.
Okay. So in that case, you lose 4 sanity points.
Cool.
And you let out kind of like a nervous giggle as sort of the colour drains from your face, and you're not really sure what is it, how could this be, what's going on. But you manage to keep your faculties about you, but you're disturbed, you're grossed out by it, it's horrible. How's it still beating? This isn't possible. There's nothing I've read that would do this.
Who knows? I've already seen bloody trees move.
If only there was somebody there who was attuned to the occult to help you figure out this problem.
Wah, wah.
Does it still sound like mother, like Obadiah's mother, to Obadiah, obviously?
Cool. And can we hear the sobbing still?
You can hear the sobbing, yeah.
Oh, just me.
Yeah, your sobbing is your mother.
Just okay.
Right. Okay.
I just call out and I'm like, mother. I mean, I have been attentive to your grave as many times as I have had opportunities. Why are you haunting me now?
Obadiah, you know that's not your mother, right?
I mean, it sounds like her. It
Could you-
sounds like just how I remember her.
Yeah, but everyone is hearing their mother. Just keep a rational head if you can.
Roll a psychoanalysis roll.
Me?
No, Evelyn, as she's trying to console you.
Okay. So, prepare for the one.
Okay. Your reality.
Can I use? I was like, should I use luck for this? That's 18. No, it's 28 points of luck. No, I will not use luck.
Okay. Regardless of what she says, this is your mother. You know this. You have no idea what she's talking about. The words don't ring true. You know this in your heart. This is her.
I just kind of like glance back at Evelyn and then like glance forwards and like push on into the cave. I just keep walking.
Okay. Okay. So as you start to go around the corner, and as the passage gets bigger, other things start moving upon the walls. It's not just internal organs. There are eyes, and at some point you come across a mouth, and you can see that it is moving. You can hear that some sound is coming from that, but it's also omnidirectional. It's definitely outside of your head, but it's not just that as the sole point of where it's coming from. The eyes follow you as it goes round. Tears seemingly come from tear ducts stuck to the wall as it leaks down. And I suppose at that point is when you start to interact with the voice, Obadiah, the sobbing for you kind of lessens. It becomes slightly more comfortable. It's just like, oh, Obadiah, I know you did your best, boy. I know. Just, Mommy needs some help right now.
I surely did, Mama. I surely did. What can I do for you?
Come and help me.
I will.
And it chokes you up. It's you haven't heard her voice in a long, long time. It's hard to hear that. It's really hard. And as sort of a few minutes pass, as you're sort of walking through, looking at all this horrific things up on the wall, Charles, you kind of manage to gather yourself. You manage to, after moments pass, you can no longer hear the voice. You can no longer hear the crying out and the pain of a loved one. And you sort of steel yourself in a moment as you're breathing, panting, and you no longer feel the urge to run.
Okay, well, I'm kind of... I want to go back in, but I don't.
Mhm.
This would be like an overwhelming thing, but do you know what? I can't leave people behind. I need to find the answers. Something, clearly not right, and this is the culmination of years of research and all the sort of personal trauma and pain that I've gone through with what's gone on with my wife and my child and everything else that way around. So I've managed to drag myself together and try and climb back up
Okay.
and bring myself back into the cave.
Okay. So as you steel
Stealing
yourself
myself ready for
and you get to start climbing up, and you manage to get up without any significant issues. You manage to get over the lip, and as you're standing outside the front of the cave, can you make a power roll, please?
power roll. Ooh. Oh, I've got good power. I can't remember. Oh, it's not bad.
Okay. And staring sort of at the front of the cave, you steel yourself, your chest puffed out, and you get ready, and you take one slow step, and you're like, I can do it. And you take another, and slowly but surely you manage to pick up pace as you walk back in, squared, strong, and ready to face this. I can do this. I will do this. As you start to move back in.
Yeah. I also, at this point, have my pistol in my hand because, you know what, that'd be a reassurance.
Okay. There's a slight tremor in your grip. You're holding it over tightly, but you certainly have it out pointed, ready. Yeah.
Roll a sanity check. You fail. You run away.
Okay, so you're starting to make your way, not at the sprinting pace you did, but you're starting to make your way back in. Obadiah, Evelyn, as you start walking, as you push forward, you begin to start seeing the cave open up wider, and you can start to see the back of the glowing cave. It is huge, and a really huge pool, and everything about the water is glowing. The back of the walls are glowing. It's a it's a strong luminescence to it, so much so that you can make out distinct shapes without just the torch itself. And as it opens up, you can see this big pulsating mass of flesh stuck all over from the back of the cave all over to the top of it. It's easily 100 feet across, and it's covered in strange growths and tendrils and all these many faces as you go round, and you notice that this is the true source of all that sound. It's disgusting.
There's so many jokes that we can make right now.
Can seeing this and presumably still hearing the voice, is there any way that I can discern that I have to some degree lost my faculties with what could actually be in this cave?
Okay, so for this we'll make a reality check, which is a sanity, but it works slightly different. Okay, so let me just get to the page. So as you start to you pay more attention to everything in the room. You breathe it in. You take a second to understand exactly what it is that you're seeing, what are you hearing, what is actually there and what isn't, and you start to understand that you start to see through the delusions itself. You start to understand that actually that's Mummy, that's not you. It's different. It's different in its tone. It's different in its pitch. And what is real is the sound of the wailing, the sound of the cries of pain, but it's not related to you. You certainly see that this massive mound of flesh is there, but that's not your mother.
I think Obadiah would like immediately like realizing that and realizing that he's in basically a tunnel of flesh. He would bring up his shotgun and point it at bits of it, like
Yeah.
whatever looked important, really,
Okay.
and just
So
start like.
as you're sort of aiming around for a target, it's so huge. It's difficult to understand exactly what you should be aiming at. But there's a large mound of flesh that floats within the middle of the pool, and as you're, I suppose from this flesh, you can see that fluid containing fragments of flesh gushes out from the mass going into the pool itself. And as you kind of look at it, sort of these flesh, it takes a moment to turn from kind of gore and horrific to sort of moving towards kind of that. It starts to transform into more sort of a whitish flecks, and it starts to break up very, very slowly as it goes down the river sort of way.
I mean, Evelyn, does your books learning do teach you anything about what the hell is going on in this here cave?
There's a mound of flesh in the middle of the pool, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's you see that, yeah?
Yeah, no, I was more. I was gonna say, can I try and make a medical roll to have a look and see if there's any identifiable parts of
Yeah, go
the
for it.
body in it?
While you do that, I literally turn around and I just scream for Charles. I'm just like, Charles, can you hear me, boy?
And the second passes, and you can hear the echo make its way down.
I'm screaming back. I'm Obadiah, Evelyn. I'm coming. I'm coming. And I kind of doubled my efforts of, getting there as quickly as I can.
Sure. As you're trying to identify what is going on and what's coming out of this mound of flesh, you sort of can see that it's really hard to discern what's coming out. It's chunks of flesh, not organs, that are going into the river. It's reasonably similar size, sort of slabs like this. And as you're kind of looking around to sort of see what's what, you notice that where parts of it are sort of stretched so taut against the wall, it becomes translucent in places, and there are dark, misshapen things moving within it.
No, it just looks like a mound of flesh over there.
Don't like this. I would surely feel more comfortable with a fistful of dynamite.
Are the is the sound
Funny that
coming
you should
from
say that.
the flesh?
Sound coming from the flesh. So as you're looking at all these,
Am I assuming that I've caught up now?
very almost, you're sort of getting around to the corner. So I would sort of say that those two are sort of up there, and you're sort of breaking around that corner.
So I've seen the giant mouth.
Multiple. As you're looking at these multiple sort of mouths across, you can see different faces. Some of them are crying, sobbing out. Some of them, help, please help me, please help me. And others are just manically, hysterically laughing, and it's a really pitched shrill as it cuts through you. And as you sort of come round the corner, Charles, you know this voice. This is Abigail.
Ooh. I'm kind of just, I'm massively taken aback. I'm just saying, Abigail, where are you? And I don't mean it as in like a physical thing. It's all that kind of. I'm guessing the voice isn't coming from an actual mouth, so it's just.
No. All of the mouths are making multiple different sounds, and one of them sort of cocks its way to you. Charles. And
Now, what happened to you? Because I'm just, answers.
And sort of the other mouths sort of looking at you and sort of gaining in on the conversation. Come join us. Come join us for the mother's sake. Grow with us. Charles, where's Henry? Please, where is Henry?
I don't know. We're looking for Henry. Where are you? I can see. I'm just I'm confused by everything going on around me. I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. I'm shouting out, Obadiah, Evelyn, where are you? Where are you?
In here, Charles. In here.
Yeah. Abigail, we're coming for you. We're coming for you.
And I suppose, her sort of her crying please sort of changed to sort of begging, please, get me out of this. Help me. I need to come out. Help me. Join us, please. Join us. Be one with the mother.
From that point, then I'm kind of just I've heard where Obadiah and Evelyn are, and I kind of walk around that last bit of corner to try and catch up with them. I'm just about holding on to my wits at the minute, although I'm kind of massively breaking up. So the idea of what's real and what's not real, I'm very much struggling with as I reach them, and I guess that I'm looking over at this giant ball of flesh, and again, half of me is I knew it, the other half is just, what is this? How do I cope with this?
Yeah. And I suppose as you're kind of discerning this, the voice is deep, is different, it's deeper, it changes in tone and pitch. It goes from Abigail's soft, sweet voice pleading for help to a deep, sort of guttural kind of join the mother. And it's still feminine, but it's definitely very, very deep. And tendrils around the pool start swishing and sort of as if there's movement within the pool.
Okay. I'm guessing I've seen the black splodges which look like people inside that, the ball and everything else that were around. I kind of turn around to Evelyn and Obadiah and say, well, what do we do now? Well, obviously we're not joining this thing.
Beats me. Where's the flash heap? Is that this thing here?
Yeah. So I can remove that now.
Oh, okay.
But sort of that's sunk into the water.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna ask you for that dynamite, and then we are gonna get the hell out of here.
This abomination can't stay. So I'm quite happily sort of sharing out the dynamite at this point.
Okay. So, how much is everyone having?
How many
2 sticks each?
How many sticks do you have?
I've got 6.
Sure, I'm just gonna put mine like literally up on here.
Okay. So
here.
As you move,
have we been told that this is Abigail by Charles?
No.
You've heard him say Abigail, and
okay. So, whilst the plan, I'm not going to take any dynamite. I think I might try and talk to it whilst they're laying it. Maybe distract it so it's not. Oh, hey, by the way, if we're just talking,
I'm kind of chuntering to myself as we're on. She's in that thing. That thing. Abigail is that thing, and it's that thing. So it's loud enough that you guys can actually hear what I'm saying, but it kind of goes with the fact I'm losing it massively and only just keeping myself together. I'm guessing you guys can see that in my demeanor as well.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Abigail what happened to you.
Can you make a so describe the conversation to me? How are you trying to gain her attention when you're asking her?
I'm like, we're looking for Henry. Abigail, can you tell me what happened to you, Abigail?
Oh my dear Henry. And can you roll a charm for me, please?
Oh, my face is terrible, so.
Okay, so as you start to talk, to asking, you can see that the one of the faces, and bear in mind that the ones that are talking, it's not necessarily one is Abigail and one is trying to persuade and manically laughing. They're switching. They're all different voices coming out of different ones in different tones, and it's all over the shop. And as you're talking, the one with Abigail is, she's moving about and she's talking. She's getting upset at the fact of talking about Henry, and she sort of says to you, we were ambushed, and we didn't know what to come for. The villagers, they're just not like it here. They don't like anyone from the outside, and they brought us here. And as you think that you're distracting it, Obadiah, can you make a strength roll, please?
As we have established before, no.
So you failed. And okay, so a tendril starts to grapple you, in its multiple black lengthy tendrils as it starts to go around you, and you can immediately feel the panic. There's something similar happened yesterday.
No, holy shit, no, not again.
And it's not necessarily as if it's trying to thrash you about. It's grasping you and it's hugging you tight. Can you take 8 hit points?
Very almost no. Is there a threshold of like
to be knocked out?
I only had 10 to begin with just then, so that was way over half my remaining health.
It's not in the sense that it's trying to kill you. It's just clumsily grabbing you.
I see.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I immediately react and like not so much drop the TNT that I'm holding, but like finish putting it down, like pull back and see if I can just like shoot the bit that's kind of grabbing me.
Yeah. So let's go and
okay.
Let's get an initiative order for this. So Charles, you had a readied handgun, which gives you plus 50, so you're at the top.
Okay.
Then who's can you shout Dex's out for me?
60.
I've got 75, so that's 125.
Yeah.
Ev? 35.
Okay, so we are in this order. So Charles, you're up first.
Well, kind of, yeah, I'm seeing what's happening. I'm already kind of halfway losing it, so I kind of just put the dynamite to plant it in the ground wherever I'm going to put it. Kind of stand up where I will not. This will not be where I end. And I kind of aim and shoot at the tendril that's got Obadiah.
Okay, make a attack. Are you just firing one round? Can you only fire one per 3 rounds? I can only
fire one anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm rubbish with that.
Did you want to spend a luck?
Yeah, that's only 2 luck.
Oh, in which case, yeah, I'll use a couple of luck.
Okay.
To not suck.
Okay. So you squeezing too tight, you almost narrowly miss the tendril itself as it's moving around and it's holding Obadiah, and you shoot, causing 8
damage.
8 damage. Okay. So the being itself. So what it does start to do, and you notice, Obadiah, as it's grasping you, it feels. It's not threatening. It's holding at you. It's safe. It's hugging you, nurturing you, as a baby might. As a mother might do its newborn, and you feel it kind of release some ichor around you, and what it happens is that you start to begin to feel very sluggish. You feel, you feel very sweaty. You feel ill, as it sort of it covers you in this, as it soaks through your clothes and onto your forearms. Your turn.
Yeah, like Obadiah is still freaking out. There's like if he's starting to feel like almost like he's maybe drugged or something as well. Like there's no stopping him. He's literally just gonna like shotgun straight up against it.
Okay.
Roll.
Yeah. You go for it, man. One shot or 2?
Probably 2.
Okay. I'd probably say with the advantage, really. It doesn't matter, you don't need it.
No.
And your damage.
And then one. So I roll 4d6 and then I roll 1d6 to see
Yeah.
the second shot.
Okay. So, as you shoot the tendril, it severs and it drops you, sort of drops slack as it goes. And some of the voices, the one that was immediately talking to you as Abigail switches, and you hear this almighty like "Ah!" as it kind of like screams out in pain, and you sort of see the tendril flounder, and some of the other ones go from pain to sort of a nasty, menacing sort of as it changes its tone.
I back the fuck off.
Okay,
Language. Sorry, I back away.
it's fine. I think you would be backing fuck off right now.
Right?
Evelyn.
I mean, I was trying to negotiate with it, and that didn't really work well. I don't know. I presume I'm going to back off along with Obadiah and Charles. We've set most of the dynamite, so I presume we just need someone to set it off. Maybe shoot it with a pistol or something. But I don't. What's the lamp like? It's got.
So it's a hooded lamp. So it's a glass outer casing with the central column of it in between, and then the rest of it to the bottom point. So you've got like the flame here, and the bottom is like heavily soaked cloth and kerosene sort of in it.
And how dark is the cave without it?
It's luminescent enough. You sort of figure, looking back behind you, it's luminescent enough that you can make up rough shapes. You wouldn't, you know where the river is. You know where the stalactites are.
I guess throwing distance is probably a lot more dangerous than shooting distance, so I'll hold on to it. And I'll try and assist with whatever Charles is doing next.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like I can do too much.
Okay. So what exactly are you doing? You're assisting Charles.
Yeah, if he
Okay.
needs anything.
Okay.
Right.
So you've
it's-
set one
it's-
piece of dynamite,
Mhm.
and you've shot.
I've shot, yeah.
Okay.
So that was my first thing. I see where these two are kind of backing off, and I make my way around to them. I kind of whack down another piece of dynamite, or my last stick of dynamite, should I say, where I can as I'm getting towards them. And then it's just, dynamite, as in, have you guys planted your dynamite? I'm guessing they'd understand that from like a couple of words rather than it being anything.
Okay.
And then it's kind of, I'm basically, if they've planted enough, I'm going to throw the kerosene thing at the dynamite to set off things and then just run away.
What, the lamp? Alright, okay, I'll give it the lamp to you then.
Okay. So you take the lamp from Evelyn.
Yeah.
And so I take it. Are you waiting for Obadiah to run clear? What's happening?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
kill
I'm waiting for him to run clear, and then the idea is throw it back towards it to set the fire.
With a pen, could you please mark where the dynamites are, so I've got a bit of a visual?
Okay. Freehand, so
You
I'm
jump
guessing
at
we were
one here-ish, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, is that little blue mark there?
Can you guys see that? I can't.
I can. It's here. It's the same color.
How's that?
There we go. Got it now. Got it.
And 2, because it's. Where are we? Are we here? Or are we on?
I thought you were sort of here, and then
Yeah.
you got sucked in sort of there. Obadiah.
Okay, so.
Me?
Okay,
Yeah, you were sort of when
Okay.
it grabbed you and started to pull
Okay,
you up.
I figured that was there where I just put the last red
that's
dot.
where
Yeah,
my,
so you've
my
ran back,
second
yeah.
one is. Yeah, that's where my second one is. The next to the pool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mine would be the 2 red ones, I guess.
Okay.
That's...
So Obadiah has run back, and Charles, are you launching the lantern this turn?
Yes, as long as Evelyn's near enough to me to peg it.
Okay. Yeah. So can you just make a strength check? I think would be appropriate. I think. Okay.
I'm not on. I've had done. Yay!
Okay, on a
Woo!
hard start. Okay.
Olympic shot.
So, as you toss the lantern, as it sort of glides through the air, hoping that you manage to hit where these two small sticks of dynamite are, and amongst a mass of flesh, you see the creatures inside of the thin flesh walls. They're struggling and sort of almost clawing to move, screaming, still continuing. Could you roll a luck?
Okay, yes, I can. Now, can I use luck to make that luck roll successful?
Let me just double check the rules. I don't think so, but perhaps you might be able to. So
I don't know how that would work, because then you'd have to use 7 luck to get it underneath, or whatever luck, like 6 luck to get it underneath, and then it would be 6 points lower.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because you use luck to make your rolls.
Yeah.
So I'd need 48 to make that a successful roll.
Oh, so you think you're spending all of your luck?
Well, no, sorry, I need
If it went the other way.
five even to do that. So essentially,
Where's it
the luck roll is 48. That's a pass.
Yeah.
Or what my luck is at the beginning of the roll. Using those luck points, I might be able to get it to that. But you might not be able to do it on a standard roll like that. I'm not sure. So always best to ask.
Yeah. Apologies while I look this up. If it takes too long, I'll just make a call on it.
It's alright, we can always cut this bit out. Anyway,
Oh
back
yeah,
to
it's
vaginas.
not just for that. 35, 85, 90.
I can't believe nobody's been really childish and gone, oh, look, and then that's the pubic hair.
I mean, did you say that it was my time of the month because this is a vagina?
No.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't
Where's it gone?
put down the dynamite and then said something like, "Let's perform an abortion," and then like throw the fire and run out.
When did this turn into Call of Vagina? I hear the sirens call. Yeah.
It's as soon as Joe said there was a vagina.
Sorry, my bad. I mean, it clearly is, but like,
I don't know. Like for me, a vagina has fallopian tubes and stuff as well. Like, I guess you could call it the "See You Next Tuesday" instead of a vagina.
Grown men, ladies and gentlemen, grown men.
Luck points may not be spent on luck rolls, damage rolls, sanity rolls.
Oh, interesting. The sanity as well.
Yeah. So we'll have to.
That's a shame because
Yeah. So as you throw and it smashes, the dynamite doesn't seem to ignite. It doesn't seem to go off.
I'm not very happy.
I mean, I'm very fucking happy that you did not manage to blow it up with me still in the blast zone.
You're not in the blast zone. You're out.
Have you ever seen dynamite explode?
Okay. So at this point, it's actually you would still do damage for that. Can you roll 1d6? You still do damage for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it's / roll 1d6.
Okay. And it shrieks in pain, and sort of the tendrils on the right hand side of you sort of rear up, and as it kind of tries to swat and move away. And on the other side, angrily, the tendrils start to move across the pool, and it goes to grab Evelyn. Evelyn, can you make a... Well, you can either... so you can make a dexterity roll to try and move out the way, or you could sort of try and fight it off with another strength.
Well, strength is probably better for me, so I'll try and punch it. Do I want to use luck? I'm going to use 13 luck.
13 luck to make it to a 50. So where's my thing gone? Okay.
D3 for hand.
It passes on a 55, so it beats you. Beats your 50. So again, the tendril sort of wraps around you and holds you tight as it starts to drag you over towards the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Obadiah.
I kind of carry on running, but I like. Do I see Evelyn getting dragged towards the pool?
Yeah, it's right next to you.
I like kind of reach down and grab her arm and start to like pull her back.
Okay.
And carry on.
Could you make a strength roll with a extra dice?
Yes. Is that right?
Yeah, so extra dice, you got... I'm trying to work out what you actually scored. So you got 80, but then you got an extra dice, which would make that a success. So...
Yeah, so like for some reason the extra dice in this re-rolls the entire D100. So it would go 80, and then the extra dice is the 27, I think. And so I don't quite know how it works.
Yeah.
I think it's cumulative, and it's you got one success in total. So if you'd rolled 2 fails and a success, the fails would take out the success.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but it doesn't work out. So I will say that you hold on to her tight enough that you manage to stop her from being pulled into the pool itself.
I look down at her and I'm like, don't you dare do that. You got the only dynamite we can throw back at this thing.
Evelyn.
I'll try and fight my way out.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, it's a strength check.
Try and haul myself up over the... I'll try and push it off of me, like down, or up. Where's it grabbing me? Like, is it easier for me to push it up, or?
So at the moment it's kind of snaked around your waist.
Okay, I'll just try and push it down then, and then try and step over it if I manage it.
Okay.
To
so
some
you get an extra the advantage with
Okay. I'm just gonna roll this, and then it's an extra 1d10, right?
You beat it anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna roll my 1d10 for reasons.
Shits and gigs. Okay, so you manage to push it down over your knees, and you manage to sort of gain enough slack that you can jump out over it. You can also move this turn.
Cool. I have my dynamite to Charles.
Okay. Are you moving at all?
I'll move over to Charles, which I presume he's not
sort of backing away from the pool.
like, with me. Yeah, I presume because Obadiah came to get me, so I presume Charles is doing Charles things.
Sure.
So I'll go give him some dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you moving sort of diagonal back to the stalagmites, or moving directly across straight away to just the side of the wall?
I think it's diagonally back, isn't it? Because we're running away.
Yeah.
In an orderly manner. We're not just pegging it from these big gribblies that are trying to eat us at all.
Yeah. Okay. Charles, it's back at your turn.
Right. Is Obadiah clear enough that if there was an explosion, he would not die?
It would be hard. It's you guys are maybe.
You see this stick of dynamite right here? Well, I'm like probably right here.
Okay. In which case, then I believe it has been 3 rounds, as in I fired, missed. That would be 2. So I'm going to shoot the tendril that had Evelyn to make sure it doesn't kind of just launch back.
Okay.
And then move backwards, as in I'm backing out, and shout for Obadiah to do the same.
Okay. So make your
Yep, handgun roll. If I actually physically pass one.
Oh.
Okay. In a panic, you sort of fire, and your hand jolts back.
I use 5 luck, and I'm going to hit that.
Boom. Okay. Okay. And you managed to hit the tendril. Okay. Could you roll a luck roll, please?
hang on 1 second because I've just used 5. So yeah.
Oh, savage. Okay. Okay. So.
If only I hadn't used that luck to shoot it.
So. So.
Oh, yeah.
So, as it's screaming out in pain and it's going back and forth, the sounds change between your mother's voices, a dark guttural kind of cry, screeches of pain, and Abigail just wailing, sort of wailing for you to please find Henry. They took him away. And as another tendril starts to move towards you, but these are quite big and cumbrous, so it starts to move and doesn't quite get over to you all. Obadiah.
Oh hell no! I run.
Running,
and reload my shotgun.
running backwards. How far are you?
Literally, if my move rate is 6, but I'm like literally aiming to be like back here by the end of my turn, or as close to there as I possibly can.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm done. I'm done here. I don't have any more dynamite. I reload my shotgun. There's a big gribbly monster. This is not right.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
Peace.
So you sprint back, Evelyn.
What would I do? I'm gonna call out who took them. Who took them.
Okay. Can. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Just thinking if there's anything, a way of projecting your voice in such a cacophony of sound. Could you make a persuade with an extra dice? Because she wants you to help.
No, I'm not gonna roll the extra dice because that is pointless.
Okay. At the second, it doesn't let you know. She's too busy switching between voices to even let you give you some kind of hint. Are you doing anything else?
I'll walk back.
Walking backwards, yeah.
I don't think I can do very much. I'm not armed with anything. So.
Okay, Charles.
Right. Just because I don't know how much this would count as actions or not, could I shout who took him because I've got a decent persuade, then lob the dynamite as hard as I can into the bit with fire, so then it's bouncing dynamite going into fire, and then run away.
Okay, I will let you do that. So roll a persuade with an extra dice.
Is that the grey version of it?
I've just been rolling normal and then doing an extra 1d10 if needed.
Okay.
Oh,
Extra.
baby. Okay. So Abigail sort of comes back for a second. She's like, Charles, the Commodies, the brothers, they took him. Please make sure he's safe. Tell him I love him. And then it almost as sudden, it's like, and as it sort of takes back over, and throw your dynamite.
Okay, is that just a physical roll or is it a
strength?
Strength. Okay. Let's hope I've got some luck left.
You're gonna need it.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. Oh,
Okay. So
10. Yeah, 11 luck. 11 luck.
Yeah.
11 luck.
I thought that was just 6 then for a second. But yeah, I'm going to use 11 luck because I want this to explode now.
Okay, so you manage to throw it and it goes into this pile of fire.
Yeah.
Make 2 luck rolls at your new luck. Okay.
Why is the person who's using all that luck using the luck rolls?
It doesn't go off.
Oh.
It stays in there, and you kind of think for a minute, if only we'd spent time drying them out. Okay. So a tendril is moving towards, and it's I suppose the closest person would be Evelyn. So it goes again to grab you.
Okay.
What are you dodging it? Are you
Fight it off.
fight-
Dodging is terrible for me, so.
Okay, so you manage to slap away the tendrils as it comes towards you, pushing it away almost, and you feel this slime touch you as you kind of push it away, and it's disgusting. But anything right now is better than being grappled by it again. Obadiah.
I if I got to maybe here with my run, I turn around and I'm like almost probably panting because I'm not particularly a fit person. And I turn around and I look back at the other two and I'm like thinking to myself, why the hell has it not exploded yet? I reloaded my shotgun, didn't I? On my last turn. Turning around, do I think I could possibly just scattershot blast towards it?
You think you might be able to hit it?
I mean, it's a sawn-off shotgun, so
I didn't realize it was sawn off.
yeah, it's a sawn-off shotgun. It's a 12-gauge sawn-off.
To make one luck roll and get less than 5.
It's a bit far.
No, Charles, make a look wrong.
It's a bit far for a sawn off.
Yeah.
It would be hard. It would be very hard.
I look at it. I'm like, oh shit.
Just believe.
And there's a sudden regret, as though, why didn't I bring the elephant gun?
Why did I not bring the elephant gun? It's in the damn car. I go over. I get back to Charles because at this moment I've turned around and I've seen Evelyn trying to fight off a tendril. I've seen Charles flailing horribly. I walk over to him and I'm like, "You got one left, right?"
No. No. I planted one and I planted two.
So
you got one. You got mine as well, remember?
You put two down there. Look. 1, 2, 3,
yes,
4, 5. One left.
I have. Yes.
Hand me that.
I'll give you the dynamite. Happy enough for that to happen.
I'm I look at it and I'm like, oh hell, this is gonna hurt. And I pull out a shotgun shell and I kind of jam it on the end.
Okay.
What?
And I do the same. I do the same to the other end as well.
Okay.
And at which point in time I'm like, oh, this is not gonna work. So I rip off a bit of my shirt and I kind of try and wrap it so it's all wrapped up as a bundle, but not on the end, so it's just holding together. And then I just pitch that at it.
I would say the amount of time it takes you to put it in and wrap it is probably going to be your turn.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Evelyn. So you're face to face with tendrils at the minute.
I will keep an eye out on Obadiah, make sure there's no tendrils going to him. I'm going to try and protect him whilst he's preparing the bomb. So if there's any tendrils going for him, I'm going to make sure that I get in there and intercept them first. And if not, I'm just going to I don't know, look mean at the tendrils and walk away from them.
Okay, so you're just sort of dodging and just keep moving backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And whilst watching Obadiah, making sure he doesn't get attacked.
Okay, so you just look out. Charles?
What is the likelihood that I would know some type of ward of protection? That I could at least shout as I'm going backwards.
You've read enough that you know some. Whether it works or not is a different matter.
Well, that's it, isn't it? So is that occult?
Let's go
I'd have to
mythos.
roll for it. Go on, sorry, which one do you want me to do?
Mythos.
Oh, man.
To see whether it works.
Yeah.
5% chance I'll for them odds.
Oh!
Look.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually worth it because you'll take your skill as well.
Okay.
And
And there's a moment where you, in pure panic, start reeling off these phrases, these things you've seen in the book, and you kind of find, for a second, and you're like, and you sort of shout out in sort of Latin the word for protection, and it feels unnatural, and there's a slight tingle tingle that runs through you as you say it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
And I am pegging it backwards as well as much as I can.
Okay. So the being again, I think the closest one now is probably going to be Obadiah. How are you going to try and avoid this? Are you fighting it or are you dodging or
Dodging.
Dex, please?
Does he get any help because I was looking out for him?
Yeah,
Ooh,
you shout
yeah.
you shout over his shoulder to sort of say that. Roll. Well, even an extra dice isn't going to beat that. No. Okay. So it starts to grapple round to your other arm, not the one with the dynamite in, but your other arm as it holds you in place. Okay. So
I think Obadiah should sacrifice himself for the great
Obadiah.
good.
Sorry, I swore in your video, Greg.
Doesn't matter. I love swearing.
Are we not supposed to swear? We've been talking about vaginas.
It's a medical term.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm like this. No, not in the slightest. Okay.
No.
I'm just like wrapped up, and I guess I'm like being pulled towards the pool or something.
At the moment, it's just held you.
Okay. I just like I shouted it. I'm just like, let me go. Let us all go. Damn it, or I will blow you to kingdom come.
And it responds as like, be one with the mother. And then what are you doing?
If it's not gonna respond to my threats, I just like pitch like end over end this like makeshift like double triggered TNT.
Okay. Strength roll, please.
This is not gonna go well.
Just spend the luck. Just spend all the luck. Spend the luck.
Yeah, I spend
Why
the
do you
luck.
do that? Yeah.
I spend the luck. How much is that? That's 8.
8.
Taking
Okay.
me down from 60 to 52.
Okay. So roll a luck now with an additional dice.
Doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Doesn't even matter.
Okay. So it firmly wedges itself in, and you can see as the flames start to lick the side, and nothing happens at that second. Okay.
Oh shit!
I love the fact that you just chugged like some dynamite and it just went and stuck itself into some like fat fold. It didn't do anything.
Yeah. So it firmly lodges itself in.
Right. Oh, I've got. How far away is it?
No, it's anymore.
So probably maybe about 60 feet. No, sorry, I'm lying. I'm absolutely lying. Because I'm just looking at the scale here. It's probably closer to 100 feet, probably feet from where you guys are standing by the Stagnites.
Well, I won't be shooting it with a revolver then. I'm going to because I'm at that round where I can actually shoot again. I'm going to shoot the tendril that has Obadiah to try and free him.
Okay.
So it's a big, thick thing, and I'm kind of aiming not near Obadiah. So no luck left, and I don't want to shoot him.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
In your moment of kind of you feel invigorated after saying these words. You aim true, and as you shoot, the revolver makes a flash, and you see that it hits the tendril, and the bullet lodges firmly, so thick that it doesn't go all the way through, as black sort of goo sort of drips down into the pool, and you can see it sort of merge with these white flecks of chunks which surround it, and it becomes a bigger white fleck. The tendril lets go of your arm for a second. Okay. And now at this moment, all of a sudden, there is this massive cacophonous boom. Before any of you had a second to react, a white flash completely blinds you. Your sound in your ears rings as you're thrown to the floor. As the explosion goes off, and it is a mighty explosion, so much so that there isn't even time for Abigail or the being to scream, and the start of the cave roof starts to collapse in on itself. The majority of a bloody mass, a showering of flesh over you, which is disgusting as the water kind of moves and slaps at the side of the pool. So the start of the cave has begun to start caving in on itself under this massive. We're talking like seconds as it starts to go, and it's starting to go. So can everyone make a dexterity roll?
Probably not. Oh, holy shit! I spent whatever the luck is for that.
Okay.
1. Sorry, my character sheet just disappeared. So it's dexterity?
Yes, please. Okay. You haven't got the luck to spend, do you?
I don't know what did I roll?
You rolled
86?
86, you need 75.
I do have the luck to spend.
Are you spending it?
Yeah, because I don't want to get killed by a giant rock.
Okay. So you start beginning to absolute outpace this, and all three of you run in a sheer panic, not really being able to hear, but not really even, to be honest, being able to see, just sheerly running away from the crumbling mass that was coming in front of you. You managed to make it out. Let's hold on. Let me just go onto my map. Oh, I've deleted the entire map. Mother trucker. Why can't I select that? Can I do that? Does that work? Maybe. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, the side view of the map. So, you managed to make it out to sort of location 1 as you're sprinting. So, you're near sort of where the warped vegetation is. Can everyone make another dexterity roll?
Sure. Sorry, I'm just looking at the map. What are the black dots?
Just
here.
I'm not entirely sure. It seems to be where we've drawn on stuff and it's gone funny. Let me.
I was just interested, rather. So 2 seconds. Another dexterity, right?
Yeah, please.
I'm not spending luck on that shit.
Okay. So, you're spending luck, are you? You're spending how much luck? 50.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not spending that. That's what I said. I'm not spending luck on that.
Okay.
No, I'm also not.
Okay. So as you run, as you're sort of going through the narrow passage from sort of the water vegetation up to leading to where the cave's mouth is, the two of you run through the water and it splashes up against your face, and as you sort of slip and sort of try to steady yourself, at this point the cave is falling in to the point where it's caught up to where these plants are, and you're sort of here. Okay, can both of you make a constitution roll, please? Okay. You shrug yourself off, still feeling reasonably hungover and bloated from before, but you manage to power on through, still running as fast as you can. And as you start to enter the decline from the cave's mouth, and it's very, very steep, can you make a climb rolls to get down, or I suppose you can always jump it and risk it as the explosion is coming.
What would jump be? Dex or?
Yeah, let's go with the dex.
I'm jumping.
Charles, you land gracefully in a 3-point landing as you jump out.
With my katana behind me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm also gonna jump because it's my best chance.
Obadiah, you have a rocky landing as you sort of roll over, and you manage to hurt yourself. And you take 3 points of damage.
That
almost
puts me unconscious.
And you knock yourself out as your head hits the floor. Behind you, the rocks of the cave goes, and there's this massive outblast of dust as it goes over you, like over the top, and you're down here, and it goes out. And for a moment of all that noise deafening, there's silence. And Obadiah's knocked himself out.
Do I go to -1 or?
Just put you at 0.
Charles, did you have the? No, Obadiah's got water on him. I do have first aid, but I'm not sure there's very much I can do from.
I could assist. I mean, maybe first aid might bring him back up to 1, so he's conscious.
Yeah, maybe use the water and that Obadiah has in his pockets because we took boiled water with us.
Yeah.
Maybe make him drink it, pour it on his head.
Yeah.
Move him into like a better position. Make him comfortable, stuff like that. He's basically using first aid to try and make him slightly better than what he is right now.
Well, to make him conscious and so he can move.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're first aiding him, are you?
Yeah.
Can you roll a first aid?
I'm assisting that first aid.
Roll with an extra. Okay. As you're attempting to stabilize him, he doesn't come around. You pour water on his face and slap his cheek to try and wake him up. Could you make a Constitution save?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Buff world.
Cool.
Okay. So over the course of maybe a good 3 minutes, you're unconscious for. You kind of come to battered, bruised, and in a significant amount of pain, and it takes a few minutes, and you throw up because of how hard you hit your head. Everything's a little bit woozy, and you're slightly concussed. Just put yourself back up to a single hit point, and you just don't feel right.
What time is it, Greg?
So you entered there at about, by the time you got in 9, probably closer to sort of 10, half 10 in the morning.
Jesus. Just go back to the Jarvis and just be like, we've had a rough morning.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea, and then we can go whoop ass at the baddies farm later on.
Okay.
After we're not nearly dead.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a bit more lucky.
Okay.
God, not just any one of us can make a fucking roll. I mean,
So at this point, gents, we will call it for tonight.
that was terrible in terms of rolls. Did anyone make anything of any consequence?
1 shotgun roll.
Yeah.
Other than 1 shotgun roll, I passed 1 dex roll. So 1 dex roll, 1 shotgun roll, and like 4 con saves. That was it. That's what I passed.
Can I would like. No, I'm not going to tell you to the end of the campaign.
What?
Nothing.
What? Okay, so I spotted this.
Climb.
This.
Yeah.
As soon as they were revealed, because I'm now just like
your mouth and your eyes, and
I'm just like a super like, yeah.
What about them?
Just there's mouths and eyes in the plant, dude.
Oh right, okay.